I think it's important to talk about the difference between sound editing and sound mixing, because they are very different, even though they sound quite similar. So, as I was saying earlier, you can specialize in these things. You do commonly have sound studios and they have sound engineers and they just love audio. They just live for it. And basically they are responsible for mixing and mastering the final files for your commercial, for your film, or for your adverts, that type of thing. However, as a film editor, you cannot run away from audio. It is always present, obviously. So I just want to quickly go over the differences between those two things. So sound editing, in a sense, within sort of Premiere Pro, is essentially making those cuts within the audio tracks, or adding in sound effects. So a lot of the times you have something we call a Foley Artist. And basically what a Foley Artist will do is they will recreate sound effects within a studio environment, basically. So, like rustling of trees, running along rocks, those type of things, the sound of waves, the sound of glass breaking or punching or whatever, and what will happen is they will record those things, or we'll use online libraries to download sound effects. And what we'll do is we'll add in these sound effects throughout our film just to heighten the emotion a lot of the time, or heighten our audience's awareness of that specific part of the film where we really want their attention. Like, for example, when I was editing the motorcycle documentary, I used so many sound effects throughout the whole thing, or just to heighten that sense of motorbikes, the constant humming of a Kawasaki superbike throughout a lot of my interviews, because we were interviewing them within a paddock, so we were surrounded by the sound of motorbikes, and I wanted the audience to have that in the film. So I got a lot of sound effects and I edited them in my tracks with lots of different layers.
Just got to be, hopefully, decent position put or decent qualifying session, and just try and go from there, see what happens.
So that in itself is kind of sound editing. It's taking a lot of various sounds and making it work within your edit, with different audio tracks. So we're talking music, sound effects, voiceovers, those type of things. Now, sound mixing is where, like I say, a lot of people specialize in this. That is where they essentially will say, if I have 14 audio tracks within Premiere, right? And I need, that's just far too many. I mean, no. For me, that's freaks me out, but it's fine, because sometimes we need that. We need to mix that all into one single track. So sound mixing is taking all of those elements that you've built in the sound edit and mixing that and mastering it into one single file, so that when it's delivered back to a film editor, it is just one whole track, which is just a lot tidier. So yeah, I hope that gives you a sense of the difference between sound mixing and sound editing. So editing is placing them all within a timeline and syncing them so they work, and mixing is compressing all of that into one single audio track.